Alrighty, so in this episode, we're going to talk about another set of more complex inheritance patterns, and that is sex-linked traits. So when we talk about sex-linked traits, we are talking about traits that are located on chromosome 23. So chromosome 23 is the last of the chromosomes. They are what we call the sex chromosomes. They determine your sex. Females have two copies of an X, so they have XX chromosomes, and then males will have an X and a Y. There are some other conditions that exist that we won't talk about in this episode, that they'll have what's called a non-disjunction and have an extra copy of one of the others. But for right now, this is what we're talking about, an XX and an XY, because those other situations are not common. And when we do a Punnett square, when we're talking about a sex-linked trait, we will use, just like we did with the blood typing where we have the superscripts, we're going to use our X's and our Y's and then letters above to represent those traits. Now, the thing that's tricky is that the Y chromosome is a lot smaller than the X chromosome, and it does not have the same genes on it. So most of the time, notice how I erased that letter above the Y? I did that on purpose because you will not find those on the X chromosome. Or excuse me, you will not find them on the Y chromosome. So an example of a sex-linked trait is hemophilia. And hemophilia is a condition in which the individual has reduced clotting factors, so their blood can't properly clot. It's a very dangerous condition because when you get a cut, you can bleed profusely from a very small cut because your body is not properly healing. It is a recessive trait, so it means that you need to have both copies in order to have hemophilia, to be what we call a hemophiliac. And it's located on the X chromosome, so we need two copies. So let's do a cross. We have a homozygous regular male, so he does not have hemophilia, and a carrier female. Remember, carrier means they have one copy. So our male does not have hemophilia. So the capital H, this is regular. And that lowercase h is hemophilia. I should probably have written that. So up here is our male, and over here is our female. And she is a carrier, so she has one capital copy and one lowercase copy. So we do that same dropping down and shuffling over that we do with any of our other Punnett squares. For here, an X, an H, and our Y, X, an H, X, lowercase. Now, the thing that makes these slightly trickier is that we need to discuss two phenotypes for each genotype because you got to bring up sex as well. So here we have two X's, so female, and she's two regular, so she's fine. Let's not say regular, that sounds mean. Let's say healthy. Female healthy. Here we've got a male who's healthy. Down here we have a female. She has one of those dominant alleles, so she's fine, but she's what we call a carrier. So she doesn't have hemophilia, but she could pass it on to her children. And then over here, because the Y doesn't have another allele to dominate this recessive trait, you will see the recessive trait. There's nothing there to be dominant over it. It's the only allele present, so that is the phenotype that you will see. So this is a male who has hemophilia. All right, so when we talk about, like I said, when we talk about sex-linked traits, we do need to discuss both the sex and the other phenotype. So both of our females would be fine, one would be a carrier. 50% chance that male offspring will have hemophilia. Now, sometimes sex-linked traits are actually dominant, and then this is another issue. It becomes a little bit different in how it gets inherited. So let's try it out. Retinitis pigmentosa is a degenerative eye disease. It is an X-linked dominant trait, so you just need the one copy in order to inherit retinitis pigmentosa. So cross an affected male with an unaffected female. What are the chances they have a child with the condition? All right, so affected male, capital R. So R is conditioned, and then the little r is healthy. All right, and then the Y, and then she's fine. She has two little R's, so we do that same drop and shuffle. All right, so up here we have two X's is female, and she has it. She's affected. Another female who is affected. And down here we have a male, but he has that recessive, so he's healthy. And down here another male who is healthy. So these parents, if they were to have children, all of their girls would have retinitis pigmentosa, and all of their boys would be healthy and would not have the condition. So now that you've watched this, you can try out the practice problems. Good luck.